Welcome to Behind the Smoke Podcast, Barbecue War Stories. My name is Sean Walchef with Cali Comfort Barbecue. We are recording above the butcher shop at Valley Farm Market with my man Derek Marso. What up?
Not much, man. We survived St. Patty's Day. That was a big one. We sold 1,600 pounds of corned beef.
Holy shit.
So that is our record now. And
Do you always do corned beef?
Yeah, we do corned beef every single year. It's a recipe that my grandpa passed down to me, and it's more of we do orange. Corey, can you help him? Make sure it's an orange and honey cure. Mm-hmm. So with the salt, it kind of mellows it out a little bit, because sometimes when things are too salty, it's overbearing for the corned beef.
Yeah, well, it's typically why you have sauerkraut a lot of times.
Right.
Corned beef.
And then we did pastrami, and that went over really, really well. Awesome. We did like 60 sandwiches of pastrami, and people went nuts over it. So it might be a new item that we're going to carry year round.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Well, today is something really cool. We get to talk to a lot of people that impress us, whether they're business owners, entrepreneurs, restaurant owners, people in the media, but people that are making a mark, doing the right things in business. And one of the reasons that we became friends, our guest today, is Victor Lopez of El Pollo Grill. For those of you that don't know, I know we've touched on it a couple times, but Cali Comfort is a pro Chargers establishment. We've had multiple guests that have gotten us into a little bit of controversy along the way as well. Victor and I were friends on Facebook, but we actually had never met in person. And when the Chargers beat the Ravens in the first round of the playoffs this year, we started getting some people on Twitter that were attacking us on Twitter and telling people to go to Yelp and write fake reviews. Kind of became a hyper local story. The radio was talking about it, a couple news stations. It actually blew up into a New York Times article that you were in and I was in. But Victor, you went on Facebook before we had ever met, and then you said it's unfortunate when people have to get real low and falsify information, either about your business or your personal self. I just found out someone was upset about Cali Comfort, owned by Sean Walchef, is still a Chargers bar. So they bashed them on social media and Twitter. I've had this happen to myself, and I can say it pisses me off when it comes with shit talking. It is what it is. Just don't involve my family. If Cali Comfort wants to be a Chargers bar, let them be a Chargers bar. You don't need to go. Simple as that. I'm sure Sean is a great dude. Don't have to agree with his stance. This is exactly why myself, my family, and El Pollo Grill cannot support an organization like the Chargers that divided our city, plain and simple, to each their own. Go Pats.
Go Pats.
Not no more. Not no more. Not after that week.
Right? Well, Victor, welcome to Behind the Smoke. Honored to have you on, and it's crazy how close we've come just since that Facebook post that you did.
Yeah, I appreciate for having me. I'm thrilled to speak about my business and about our friendship and about business in general.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons Derek and I started this was just to talk to people that care about maybe starting a business or they're running a business, and just trying to find different tools and tricks that'll help us. This is a crazy time to be in business. I mean, the fact I can't take my son to Toys R Us, it still is nuts to me. But for someone like you that owns 2 restaurants and you're going to be opening up your third,
correct.
You've really stepped up by utilizing Facebook as a platform to get awareness about your restaurant. Tell us about how that happened.
Yeah, well, our business was formed in 1987 by my mother and my father, who passed away in the year 2000. And they were a small hole in the wall run by 2 old school people who came here illegally, but decided to start up their own business, and eventually did get their paperwork and residency, and now U.S. citizen. They started small, and as the family grew, me, the youngest one, was the only one that decided to stick with their plan.
Mm-hmm. How many in the
5
family?
of us. So three sisters and 1 brother. I'm the only one that actually took the initiative to actually say, this is going to be my career.
Yeah.
So
did you grow up in the business?
I grew up, yes, because I was there, not that I was working. I was eating the food, so I knew what they were all about. Yeah, I mean, my brothers and sisters, they all grew up in the business, except for one of my sisters. But they didn't like it.
Right.
They didn't like that type of business, and I did. I'm like, man, do I go to school? Which I did. I went to San Diego State, or do I drop out and help my mom and dad? So as my dad passed away, I was already in the business and with them, and decided to take a leap forward and say, I'm going to help my mother because she was by herself when my dad passed away. So back then there was no Facebook.
No.
There was no Facebook at all. But I started learning little things like when I would go to a drive-thru, Carl's Jr., Jack in the Box, combos, offering combos. So I started learning the marketing tools of how to upsell.
Sure.
I learned that on my own. I never went to school for that. I can honestly say I didn't. I went to San Diego State, but I was going for criminal justice, not business
Right.
of any sort. But I did drop off San Diego State and did that as I opened up my second restaurant. It was off of Market in Euclid. We were doing great. The recession hit 2008. And as you know, Market in Euclid, the four corners of death.
Right.
We
Heavy
were
gang,
hit there.
Heavy gang violence.
Yeah. There was. I mean, it's
Four
just,
corners of death.
Four corners of death. Yeah.
It's not because they're selling flowers.
No,
out there. Well, they
it
are
was
probably
Market
are for the
Euclid, Market Euclid Imperial.
Yeah.
So as I was at the one at Market in Euclid, the recession hit and it hit us hard. And in that area, it hit us hard.
No, absolutely.
It really hit us hard. So I had to close down. I closed down, but at the same time, I decided to start my own catering business. Well, I was already doing catering, but then I noticed that I had a little niche business. I said, you know what? I can close down the restaurant, which I'm losing money, open up, continue doing the catering, which I did. And for years, it went well. But then I said, you know what? The catering business at any time can go to crap.
Sure.
For whatever reasons. At that point, and then, to this day, I still do it. It's going very strong. I cater a lot to the pharmaceutical industry. So we bring food to the clinics and to the hospitals while the reps present their drugs. So I still do it, but throughout the years after 2008 up to now, I noticed a big decline in that industry,
right,
where the reps couldn't.
There's a lot of laws that have changed that have prevented
Yes.
pharmaceutical companies from
Yes.
influencing doctors.
Yes, exactly. So we're the only thing that can still influence, quote unquote, which is the food. Everything went down south. They can't bring in pens. They can't bring in a gift card to the doctors. But the only thing that has stayed is the food. But I always thought that could potentially go away at any time.
Sure.
And that's where I was making my money, and I was making good money.
Sure.
But I said, if that goes south, I'm doomed.
Right.
So I opened up mine was the second one that I opened. This would have been the third one in the family. So I opened up the one in Bonita in Euclid. And that's when, of course, Facebook was already thriving.
Sure.
But I always said, you know what?
2016 in Bonita?
Yes.
Yeah.
Late 2016. But I envisioned Facebook and using Facebook as a tool. And I didn't know if this was going to work. My wife was like, hey, you're friending all these women that you don't know. And all of them, some of them are good looking, some of them are not. What the hell are you doing? And it created problems.
Yeah.
I go, look, I'm not doing that so I can look. I don't need to be their friends to look at their profile picture
Right.
or their photos. Chill. But my envisionment was to use Facebook and start just befriending people around my area, Chula Vista area.
Yeah.
And it took me a year to befriend 5,000 people.
Were you on Facebook before that?
Yes.
Yeah. Just
But it was only
personally.
friends.
You didn't have? Did you have a Facebook account for the Lemon Grove location?
No.
Okay. So it was really until the Bonita location.
Yeah, but the Lemon Grove one, I wasn't running it. I was running the catering, so
Okay.
I really wasn't looking into the Facebook scene and pictures and this. And it just I mean, it's helped me like you would not believe. Just pictures. I mean, pictures and videos and but this is a personal Facebook, not the business page of Bonita. And I've noticed that. on my end, for me, what's worked more is actually my personal one.
Mm-hmm.
But people know me as Pollo Grill guy,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
or the anti-Spanos guy.
Spanos Sucks guy.
Yes. So Facebook has been marvelous. I can honestly say it's made me.
Sure.
It's made me. And of course, what's made me also is I think besides our food is the whole anti-Spanos action that I
Good
took.
exposure. I mean, it's
Yeah.
definitely good exposure to get out there and talk about it. It's something that's controversial, so people don't know which way to go. I don't really care much, either way. Like if you want it or you don't like them, it's your decision.
Right.
But it does bring a light to you. So then what do you do with that light? Are you promoting food? Are you going to give out free fucking tacos when they lose? I mean, are you going to what are you going to do? And to do that, obviously you got to see an ROI on that, because you're not just giving them away for nothing, right? You want people to try your food because you believe in your food.
Right.
So your food's good. It's just like going to a farmer's market, right? You're going to sample it out. You're not really going there to make money.
Right.
I just want you to try it.
Right.
So then your next 5 times, then I can make money off you. I can do that. So I mean, it's a good way to do it. With the Chargers leaving. How did El Pollo Grill get its name? And because it's also similar, El Pollo Loco. Mm-hmm. Was El Pollo Loco around before your parents did that?
Yes, I think there were a couple years before.
Okay.
Of course, they had major backing from some big
Sure.
people. Sure. But it was very similar food, very similar. Pollo Loco back in the days was real good.
Right.
Now, honestly, even though I don't really taste it. I've tried it maybe once or twice. It's not bad, but it's not authentic.
Sure.
Of course, how could they be authentic if they're so big?
Right.
They're nationwide, actually, probably worldwide. But El Pollo Grill in 1987 was bought by my mom and dad from some other previous owner that used to be called El Pollo Charro. He had about 3 or 4 of them in San Diego. And so what this guy did was he was done with the business and he decided to sell them, very similar to like a franchise, even though it wasn't technically a franchise, because franchise, you can't just say I'm a franchise.
Sure.
You gotta sign a bunch of paperwork, a lot of different stuff that you gotta do before you become able to sell franchises. But this guy did it. My mom and dad decided to buy it from them, and for 5 years they had it called El Pollo Charro, and then for 5 years we had to buy their chicken already marinated. 5 years went by. We changed the name of El Pollo Charro to El Pollo Grill. It was a family decision, and we also changed the recipe of our chicken, and that's where it all came from. El Pollo Grill. And El Pollo Loco has tried to sue us. Get away from that.
No way.
But we had our insurance step in, and they had their lawyers. We fought them, which El Pollo Loco has been very successful at suing people.
Sure.
And beating them, but they didn't beat us. I mean, we had good insurance, and we were able to stick to our name. How they were able to beat other people, I don't know, because you can't trademark El Pollo.
Right.
You can't You can't trademark it.
It's a name.
And if you look at now it's EPL.
Yeah.
Just like KFC.
Yeah.
It's EPL. It's El Pollo Loco.
Okay.
So I'm trademarking my name right now, and we're almost done. It seems like they already approved it. I got to make some changes on certain things that on my website and stuff like that. But I had to name it. I had to change it to EPG.
Okay. That's the only way you can get it trademarked.
EPG El Pollo Grill.
Yeah.
That's the only way I could get it trademarked. So, but El Pollo Loco has been successful at getting people out of that. They're El Pollo, because there's a lot of El Pollo. El Pollo Grill, El Pollo Charro, El Pollo Loco, El Pollo Gallo, El Pollo whatever. And they've been able to be successful in getting their name out of their own front.
So, do you just run the Bonita one now? Or do you do the Lemon Grove one too?
I'm running the Bonita. I have an interest in the one in Lemon Grove.
Okay.
I'm buying my mother out because she's so old school. It's hard. I can't go in there and try to change things.
Right.
And I know that I can make the one in Lemon Grove more successful because it already has its clients.
Sure.
But they need to change so many things there. But to do that in front of my mother, it's impossible.
No,
How do you go about? I mean, because Derek obviously went through difficult challenges, in a family business. How do you go about addressing uncomfortable conversations with your mother? Somebody that, this was her baby. Yeah. Now you're her baby.
If I give it all to my mom and dad, I really do. I mean, yes, I've made it bigger than what it was, and it will all. And I worked hard at that, but if it wasn't for my mom and dad to give me the opportunity, I'd be doing something else, you know. So, you know, dealing with family issues in the business is not easy. We've had a lot of fights, you know. But of course, an older person like my mother, she doesn't get it. She doesn't get a lot of stuff. She really doesn't, and it's not because she doesn't want to. It's just that's all she learned,
right?
And she hasn't been able to change, you know, or adapt to the new things.
Sure.
You know, she's not going to be on Facebook. She don't even have a Facebook. Right?
Yeah.
She's not going to, you know, do the free giveaway. She thinks giving away the free Spanos tacos is the worst thing in the world. I'm like, Mom, do you not understand? She didn't want to do it at the beginning. Mm-hmm. I had to convince her after the second year. I'm like, second year, you got no traction no more. You know, you guys didn't do it when it.
That's
when
where
I
the
told you to
anger
do
is at the fever pitch, you know.
Yeah. So it's been hard. It's been tough. But I finally convinced her, Mom, you need to step down. She's 82 years old.
Oh, wow.
I go, you need to step down.
Wow,
Let me handle it. You're still going to get paid. Mm-hmm. You know, of course, she always has her doubts. Her young son always had, you know, I made mistakes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I made mistakes. I've made lots of mistakes, you know, not because I did them to try to, you know, how do you say,
you weren't malicious.
yeah, no, it's just business mistakes.
Right.
You know, every business person makes mistakes.
Heck yeah.
You know? I just got taken for $250,000 from a solar company.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
You know,
Jesus.
it's a huge mistake that I made.
Right.
It was a dumbest mistake I've ever made.
Yeah.
You know, but and those so she looks at those things like, Mom, please. I go, okay, I'm 42 years old. I'm learning, but look at my business now. Look at the one in Bonita. Mm-hmm. Chill. So we go through a lot of our ups and downs, but she's kind of like, okay, I'm gonna step down. So right now, hopefully in the next couple of months, she's gonna step down, and I'm doing it also for the
brand.
the brand, yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you go into a Pollo Grill, Lemon Grove, it's smaller. It's not the same. It's not the same atmosphere as the one in Bonita. Mm-hmm. You know, so hopefully she trusts me, and hopefully I do make the right decisions. You know.
Yeah, I mean it's hard. You know that dynamic. I had to deal with it. I was fortunate to where my dad was a little bit more understanding, but it's hard. You know, so they're old school and they've been doing something a certain way for so long.
Right.
And you know, it's. I would always try to express like I'm not trying to change it. I'm just trying to make it better. You know, there's little tweaks and here and there. The product's still going to be our product.
Sure.
But you know, they did a big study in Ralph's like 5 years ago. And they had produce, same exact produce, bell peppers, onions, whatever, right? And they put it in a case. And the way it was lit, the way the case was, it looked like shit. And they got that same exact product and they put it over here in this case. And it had different lighting, had a different thing. Right. And everyone wanted to buy that product, even though it's the same exact product. Right. I'm not trying to change the recipes. I'm not trying, like, we have a great product. We have a great, you know, foundation.
Right.
But I just have to shine a little bit of a different light on it to make it, to showcase exactly what it truly is, you know, because if you've been doing it that long, obviously your recipes are good. Right. Obviously people come there, they love it, it's authentic, you know, you just want to showcase it in a different light, but they don't always understand that. It's hard.
No, they won't understand it. My mom's biggest, how do you say, obstacle has been too many people working.
Yeah.
I'm like, Mom, you have one person making this, one person making this. Like, I got one person making all those 5 things. But she loves to have that extra people helping her. I'm like, it's ruining you guys. Like, it's ruining you. This is the payroll.
Your labor,
you know, labor. And I proved it with my P&Ls. I said, look, this is in 2 years I've done this. You guys haven't been able to do that. Never. I go, just trust me when I tell you. So when I go in there, step in, it's going to be an obstacle to try to change the whole atmosphere from the employees that have been there for over 20 years.
Jeez, yeah.
You know, but got to lay the law, right?
Right. No, you have to. And you're opening up a new one now, too, right? It's going to be coming up in East Lake?
We're opening up one in Otay Ranch.
Otay Ranch?
Yes, Otay Ranch.
Which is right where Hot Sauces and More. Good
is
friend,
that,
good
is
friend
that
of the
in
show.
the
Same complex.
mall? Really?
Same mall.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay.
same mall.
Yeah, it's
Right by-
exciting. It's the mall is not it's not a mall that's been, how do you say, perceived as a badass mall, you know, where there's tons of people. It's crowded. Yes,
It's an incredible mall. I can't believe more people are moving into the area, which is the most impressive part about it.
Maybe last year I would have said no,
Right.
but this year I saw there's another center next door to it, Millennia, which is going to have, I think, was it Ross and World Market and a bunch of other places and a bunch of restaurants, which I should have gone in there, but it was too late.
That's across the street?
That's across the street,
Okay.
yes. that's huge. There's a Starbucks, there's a Luna Grill, there's just boards and is it brew and boards or boards and brew?
Yeah, board and brew.
Board and brew is going in there. So so I saw that, and I saw some of the changes that they're making with Planet Fitness. It's going to go in the mall. Nova Brazil, it's a brewery that's going in there. Mm-hmm. So I saw all that. I was like, you know what, I got to jump in there. And then one of my real estate guy called me up. He goes, hey, this restaurant's closing down. I want to take a look at it. So it's been about 6 months of negotiations and looking at it and yes and no's and this and that. But finally made the move, and hopefully maybe August is the day I'll probably be able to move in. It all depends on permits, the beer and wine license, that they approve me, and of course the construction.
What was it before?
It used to be another Mexican restaurant, Tacos and Taros, but it was more like a bar.
Okay.
Not a bar, but the atmosphere was a bar. That's not what I'm trying to make it.
Right.
So when you're negotiating with a huge retail center, shopping center,
they suck. I never thought I didn't even know nothing about that negotiating with these guys. These guys are brutal.
Because you've been
I'm already thinking, how am I going to cheat them?
but one of the things
you're not cheating, I ain't even trying, right?
Yeah, one of the things you did tell me when we had a couple different conversations at the restaurant. You had told me that during those negotiations they were trying to strong arm you and tell you, oh, hey, we have another brand that might be coming in. What did you tell them in response?
I'm sorry, Sean, repeat yourself.
So when you came over and you told me you were having troubles with the negotiations, that they were trying to say, oh, hey, well, we're not worried because we have somebody else on the back end. But you told them something that I think is very, very valuable, which most people don't even think about, which is what you've done on Facebook and your brand.
Well, I send them the post because before I even signed the lease, when I was thinking of doing it, I actually put a post. And I have a good following on my personal
incredible following.
And so I put it out there.
You cap out at 5,000, correct?
Yeah, I don't know why Facebook does that.
It's stupid.
It's like, really? Like, what's the point? What's the purpose of that?
At
least 6,000?
Yeah. Well, they want to force you to be a page, and then that way they can get you to buy ads.
Maybe they make you become a page, and you get to move up. But so I send them my link to my post that I put on my personal page asking people, what do you think about this mall? Mm-hmm. And had a huge response. And so I send them that link, and I think they got the point that, okay, I'm the right fit for that mall, because I think they were trying to put, what was the name of the restaurant I told you?
Oh, I forgot.
It was some type of cafe.
Yeah.
It was like a Mimi's Cafe, but more of a Swami's Cafe.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Swami's Cafe. So I'm like, okay, go ahead. Right. I told them, I said, go ahead. You want Swami's Cafe? You think that's going to work here in the South Bay? Good luck.
Right.
So, I'm not knocking on Swami's Cafe because I've never been there myself.
The demographic, I don't know if it's supported over there.
Right. But I mean, you have other restaurants, really, in reality, they're not thriving like they should be. But I think the whole differences of these differences that they're doing with the mall is helping. Mm-hmm. But like you have Cheesecake Factory, and then you have
Buffalo Wild Wings.
They're doing. I'm pretty sure they're doing Karina's seafood. They're doing good.
I like Karina's.
But I think they can.
The service isn't there. I mean, when I go to your store in Bonita, the people care and they smile and they're happy. The people that are eating there care. I mean, I went to a fight night with Jim Trotter and Jeff Dotseth at Buffalo Wild Wings. Mm-hmm. The mall is packed.
Yeah.
Like I told you, I wanted to call you and tell you how pumped I was for you because there's so many people at that mall. But we went there, and during fight night, I mean, the server closed out at 8 o'clock on our table. Yeah. And I told Jeff and Jim that were sitting there, I said, now that the server closed out, watch, we won't get any service.
Right.
For an hour and a half, not one person came to check in on our table. Hour and a half.
Well, you're lucky you don't
drink.
And
then Jeff, of course, posts that on Twitter, and of course, all of the comments are Buffalo Wild Wing, terrible service, terrible. And it's like, how the fuck is that happening?
Yeah.
But the place was still packed.
Yeah.
So that's a huge competitive advantage for you, for someone that does care.
It's going to be a bigger version of the one in Bonita. The Bonita one is really small, and we crank some good business there.
What's the square footage in Bonita?
The one in Bonita is 1,500.
Okay. And
the other one's going to be about 3,100, so it's double. Plus, I have a big, huge patio.
And you have lots more parking.
Yes, lots more parking. The car parking is not that great there, but I mean, if you're going to go, people are going to find parking, right? I mean, I've never left a place because I couldn't find parking. To me, that's kind of...
We have that's our number one complaint on Yelp is that we don't have enough parking.
Yeah. I mean,
but we have like almost 100 parking spots.
I wish I had that many. I wish I had that many. But, you know, it's going to be a bigger version of one in Bonita. The difference is I'm going to have more TVs, more seating, more beer options. I'm not going to have hard liquor.
Is that a decision you're making? You don't want hard liquor, or you can't get the permit or the
No,
license?
I'll be able to get the license if just got to pay for it, I guess. It's just a decision. I say I don't want it to be viewed as a cantina bar, getting messed up and having to kick people out. I don't want that, honestly. I'm sure I can make more money off of that, but at the end of the day, it's not really about the money. It's how I really want to handle it. You know, how to handle the way El Pollo Grill is viewed as.
Sure.
More of a family oriented. Although, like I said, I'm bringing a lot of local beer.
Well, if you're doing something you're trying to create that's scalable, that you want, you know, I'd imagine you probably want to do more. When you throw in those extra variables, it's not per se what you're great at. Why not just keep doing what you're really good at? Sure. And then that way it's scalable. So if you want to do 4, 5, 6, it's all conceptually very similar. You don't have to worry about that variable.
Honestly, that's my goal, is to franchise. I don't want to open up. I didn't even want to open up this one, honestly. I mean, come on. You know what it is.
Oh, yeah, I know. You're 11 for us. I know.
You know, it's not easy. It's not an easy task. I love it. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't do anything else in the world, but it's not that you love it that you want to open up.
I mean, you have an incredible brand, and we're always hiring. You know, I saw you posted yesterday. You're hiring again for your location.
Yep.
And that's just because it's difficult to retain staff for a long term. You know, we have the lowest turnover we've ever had at the restaurant, and it's still difficult.
Yeah,
it's still difficult.
We're doing the same thing.
It's crazy.
To try to find those people is hard, and then you had to pay them more. Then your P&L is kind of messed up, and you're making sure you're like
training
where else
also. Training costs a lot of money. You know, fortunately, we don't have a large turnover. We try to keep our employees, and since our employees are only about 20 employees, it's easier more to manage, of course. And you have
too many.
5 times the amount.
60.
60, so 3 times the amount.
I mean, 20 of them are full time. The 40 are part time. So
yeah. But well, we have to have. You've gone down a lot.
Yeah, we have to have part time. We've gone down significantly.
That's great.
Eric's been attacking the schedule significantly, but then when you run a bare bones schedule, then if somebody calls out,
flexibility sucks.
Flexibility. And people call out all the time. You know, people come late to work.
But the positive about having part time is that those people can pick up shifts and not be overtime.
Well, that's why we're trying to add more part-time shifts so that people are fighting to be on the schedule as opposed to complaining that they're working too much.
Now that that law of the sick pay.
Yeah. Sick pay ruined restaurants. It ruined us.
Right.
It has nothing to do with us not wanting to pay people when they're sick. Right. It's become a policy where people they think it's vacation.
Yeah.
And that there's no responsibility, no accountability for that's my shift, and I'm hurting actually the restaurant that pays me and my staff and my team and the customer by not showing up.
We just had someone give their 2 weeks, and their next 2 shifts they called out sick and wanted their sick pay. I'm like, it comes back to you. I mean, be who you want to be. I mean, that's the person you want to be.
Exactly.
Go for it. I mean, that it's I'll pay you. But it's more of a character flaw for you, not for me. But they do that, man, and getting forced to pay those things, and you just have to put it in your margins and your percentages, and it's always a numbers game and what you can do and how you can do it. But it's never fun because you don't ever want to have that ill will towards that person that what they're doing, But it's part of it.
One of my workers called in sick today. And so I had to get somebody, so he's going to work a 12-hour shift. So,
so you're paying overtime now.
There you go.
And you're paying for sick pay.
Right.
So no wonder restaurants.
Well, she already seated her sick pay.
Yeah.
For the year.
Yeah, of course. Shocking.
I think it's
that's top 3. It's
days.
24 hours.
In 3 months.
She already exceeded it. She exceeded it. So I'm like, she said she was sick. All right, whatever. I mean, what do you want me to do? You're not sick.
Right.
I mean, then you start being a horrible boss.
Right. No, I never question anybody. I allude to them when I know it's after St. Paddy's Day or if it's a big drinking day that, we're not dumb, but understand that I don't perceive you as this very reliable person.
Right.
So if your hours do get cut, that's you. It's not me. I have to make sure that people are here and want to be here. And, that's my job is to create that. And if you want to do that, that's fine. You're just probably going to find your way out of here pretty quick.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the biggest challenges. We had our most difficult staffing day on St. Patty's Day. People were just called out
because they're
they didn't
drunk
show up
or partying or whatever.
And the problem is the lying. You know, when Eric and myself, you know, we've grew up in restaurants. We've drink just like anybody else. You know, there's days where there's no way in hell we should have been opening the restaurant, but we were there. And sure enough, it's like, oh well, you know, it's my tire or my car or it. You know, we know what it is.
Yeah,
it's 4th of July. Yep. We know why you're not here.
Yep.
You know, just own it, be accountable for it, plan ahead. And then let's get staff so that the customers don't suffer. So that the customers don't suffer, you know?
Well, or just show up, man.
Yeah. Or show up and power through.
I remember when I first started here, 11 years ago or something, we went out partying hard. And I woke up at my buddy's house. All I could find was my shorts. And I had no shirt and no shoes. So I drove to work because I had to be here at 4 a.m. Drove here. Luckily, in my office, I had an extra pair of shoes and a shirt. But I had to run up before anyone saw me without a shirt and no shoes and got it. And I worked all day, but it was just, that's my responsibility. I made a response, I know I have to be here. You know, I don't do that anymore. But it's, people, they've just made it so easy to call out and do whatever you want. That's but that's
the hardest
California.
Part about owning your own business.
What kind of advice would you give to people that they see that Facebook can be powerful, and obviously they hear your story and they see that ESPN's covered you, New York Times. I mean, the amount of exposure you've gotten for your restaurant in Bonita is it's magnificent.
Well, if it wasn't for Facebook, I wouldn't have known Joe Little.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for Joe Little,
local NBC reporter.
I would not have been covered for the whole free giveaway of
free
the Spanos Suck,
which is what
basically allowed us to
touch on that, because I don't think we even talked about it. I kind of mentioned it a little bit, but what'd you do since you were so mad and hurt, and I bet there's a ton of emotions that went through your mind with the Spanos pulling the Chargers out of San Diego to go to LA. Your stance was not to support them anymore, but go ahead and talk about what you did for the...
I knew from the get-go that if the Chargers were going to leave, that I was not going to support them, especially up in L.A.
Right.
My dad's not a gang member.
Right.
I've never been a gang member, but I always was brought up to believe that we're not going to support an L.A. team, especially the Dodgers or the Raiders.
Right.
And for the Chargers, our beloved team, to go up north, even if it's for 2 hours, for me, my family, because all my family thinks that way. All my brothers and sisters think that way. A lot of my cousins think that way. That if they left, I would not support them. And so, when they left, it was hard, tough. It's like, shit, man. It's like if
I think it's important that not only did you support them, you were a fanatic like I was.
Yeah,
I mean, you
absolutely.
You cared. You were there tailgating. You were at the games. Whether they won or lost, you were all in.
I was never a bandwagoner. I was actually, I can honestly say, there's not too many. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of them, but the ones that I knew, I wasn't one that would be like, oh, the hell with the Chargers. They're 1-15. They suck. Yeah, we know they suck. Yeah. You still support them. You still love them.
Right.
If your son sucks at football, you're not going to say you suck and don't love them. You're still going to support them, right? That's just the way it is. So we, just like every other fan, we went through our ups and downs with the Chargers, but a lot of it was having fun.
Right.
During football season. Hopes.
Yeah.
It's not like we've been accustomed to winning here in San Diego. Come on. Padres, Chargers.
Yeah, all of it.
Everything, San Diego State. Probably the only one was soccer, and I never really went to a soccer game. So, so first thing was, I wasn't going to support them. I was pissed off. So the first game came against Denver, and I just couldn't believe it, man. I was like, this is a damn dream. It really is.
Right.
And I was watching it with my daughter, because my daughter was also she's going to be 15 this year. But she would have been 12. But I always brought her Chargers. She would wake me up at 10 in the morning. I'd still be sleeping. Dad, the game's going to be on, So, yeah, she wasn't a diehard, because, a 12-year-old girl would not be a diehard. She loved the Chargers.
But she knows how much the Chargers meant to you.
Oh, yeah.
That's that's part of the family part.
My brothers and sisters, I was the only one. My brother was not a sports fanatic.
Yeah, I have friends that are on the other side of on the East Coast, and the only time that we'd ever text or talk to each other was because the Chargers won or lost or some crazy play. But that was the thing that kept the connection together.
Right. So Chargers left that day. We were watching it, and I was not rooting for them. I was actually rooting against them. And people tell me, it's like, there's no way you could be rooting against them. Well, there's no way that you could be rooting for them. That's the way I feel.
Sure.
So I was watching it. I just couldn't believe it for the first quarter. So I left. I told my daughter, you know what? I'm gone. I'm gonna go release some stress and some. I went to the gym. I came back. It was already maybe third quarter, and then I don't know. It's just something popped in my mind. A couple of my friends told me I was the one that told you to give free tacos. I was like, shut up, dude. Yeah, okay, you did. One of my accountants told me that too.
Your accountant? That's funny.
Because
usually they don't tell us that.
He texted me. I'm like, really? Where did you text me?
Yeah.
So I just decided to say it. I put it on my social media. At that time, my social media was strong, not the way it is right now. And then everybody just started sharing this and that. And then somebody tagged Joe Little. And then Joe Little said, I want to put a story on this. And then after that.
But what'd you post?
Basically, I just said, you know what? Chargers lose. El Pollo Grill Bonita is going to be giving away free tacos after every loss, including tomorrow. And the Chargers lost. And then the next day.
We lost a lot that year.
Yeah.
It was a rough year.
It will for the
Went
first
through
half.
6 kickers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was tough. So Chargers, I think they lost 7 games that year.
I think so.
For the first, 6 weeks, it was like
1-6
or something like that.
4, yeah.
So we gave out. I mean, our house was packed. Yeah, we had the guys just coming in for one taco.
But we also had national stories. I mean, you had Pro Football Talk. We had ESPN covering it. I mean, this was a big deal because the Chargers moving has been so controversial, and them not winning a fan base in Los Angeles has been controversial.
Right. So ESPN contacted me. I went on the ESPN, not First Take. It was Outside the Lines, I believe. Mm-hmm. And so we did a live Outside the Lines shot right here in San Diego. Then the New York Times contacted me. What are the other ones? Just news stations from other cities too, and then everything local. Pretty much everything local. 1090, NBC, ABC, CBS, Fox. Just a bunch of. What was the other one?
Was there limits?
What's that?
Was there a limit on how many tacos? You just get one free taco?
One free taco.
That's rad.
One free taco. People were just thanking me. Honestly, they were thanking me. Oh yes, thank you for doing this.
You're being a voice for the people in San Diego.
Yeah, I can honestly say I was. I'm not that. I hate taking credit for stuff. I really do. I'm not that type of guy. I don't. My wife's like, oh, you love to be on TV. I hate being on TV. I really do.
No, but you care. That being on TV and being on Facebook is going to be good for the brand.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Good for the
That's
family
the reason why
at the
I
end
do
of the
it.
day. Absolutely.
That's the reason why I do it, because I really don't like to be on TV. I'm not a good speaker. I'm not the best of speakers.
But you're speaking your truth, and I think it's important.
It's
important too, because a lot of people are shy to go on Facebook Live, and I know you do a lot of live videos, but a lot of people wonder, like, oh, well, what do I look like on live, or does my food look good enough? For you, you've just embraced that. Hey, I feel like I'm going to go live and promote whatever I'm promoting, and people share that. And then more people get awareness about your restaurant. Yeah,
well, my wife can't believe how good it worked, even though her suggestion was not to befriend good-looking girls. I'm like, okay, babe, I'm gonna screen them.
Good-looking girls.
I'm gonna screen all of them. Okay, I'm gonna screen her. She is pretty. I'm not gonna accept you.
Yeah.
But it's worked. It really has worked. I mean, people, Facebook. You got to be, how do you say, something different. And of course, I'm not different because I'm a restaurant, but you have to just think of, go outside the lines.
Well, yeah, you have to differentiate yourself from what the typical taco shop's doing.
Yeah.
You have why am I going to go there?
Right.
Because now you're giving me a reason to go there. Now you're like, we have good food. There's a lot of places that have good food, but now there's a story. And now people can buy into it. And now they're not just doing this transactional, here's my money, you give me food, but now it's more emotional. Right now I know Victor. I
No,
know.
don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people that will not come to my restaurant. There's a ton of people. Oh yeah, but it's okay. It doesn't bother me one bit because I mean, there's a lot of people that are still Charger fans that still come to my restaurant.
Right.
You know, and they know. You know what? Okay, I am a shit talker. I love to talk shit on Facebook, as you guys know. I do.
You
shit
do.
talk.
You do.
I do shit talk. But I
up
never
there, you're up there
go
with Andy Harris from
past where I should not go. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I try to. There's been some couple of instances that I'm like, oh, and I have gone past. You know,
Right.
so I've tried to eliminate that because I'm still talking on behalf of a bunch of people, but I still have a brand that I need to sustain. You know, and so if I start becoming a thug on Facebook, then people. I'm telling you, just a couple of days ago, somebody shared my story on the new restaurant that I'm opening up, and from a guy that goes to the restaurant, and then somebody starts just talking crap about, don't they give the free tacos away for the Charger laws? Oh, he's a weasel. And this other guy from Japan he got on his conversation, and he's one of the guys on Twitter that just belittles my restaurant. Like, okay, thank you guys for
which is ironic.
always thinking of me.
It's so ironic to me that people are on Twitter telling them other people not to go to your restaurant, and the fact that all they're doing is giving more awareness to it. Those people would never come anyways. It's like the people that were talking shit about us and writing fake Yelp reviews. I'm like, you'll never come to Spring Valley.
Yeah, exactly.
You would never come to support us. So it totally backfires on them.
Yeah, and then because of them, you got the big story.
You got the big story about it. But I mean, I think one of the things why I was always attracted to what you were doing is that you do the things that Derek and I care about, and that's being in the community, and being involved, and giving back to charity. And there's multiple times where the community needs something from someone, and they don't know where to look to, and restaurants can be that place. And I think some of the fundraising that you've done it out of a goodness of your heart.
Absolutely. And people say, why are you posting on Facebook if you're doing it for a good job? Well, and my responses to that, I say, look, I don't need any more recognition. I mean, my business was doing good prior to it anyways. Yes, it has gotten better because of all the recognition. But that wouldn't have stopped me from opening up a third one or a fourth one or fifth one if I wasn't the Spanos taco guy, or if I wasn't, I would have tried to look for another way to actually make it succeed. And so it's funny because I'll have a post say, hey, I love you, I'm willing to give you a free a warm meal, or I'm going to donate to this cause, and then the next post will be like, fuck you, Chargers. So it's funny, but that's just the way I am. Honestly, I really am like that. I am a caring person. I will help anybody. I don't care, because I'm not a millionaire, right? But I have the money to do it, So I will help anybody and anywhere. People ask me for help, and all my friends know that, right? They know that I'm the one that go to Vegas. I'm like, you guys don't got money, let's go here, man. Right. I'm the one, Or I'll be like, hey, you don't got no. Throughout, even when I didn't have much money, I'm like, come on, let's go. I don't got no money. Come on, I'll pitch you. Don't worry about it. Let's do it, So I can have my friends there. Right. That's just the way I am, And so I remember the post that I posted on a free warm meal giveaway was after somebody that passed away. It's funny because he used to be my neighbor when I was growing up. He was one of my best friends. He moved out before he moved out, his dad passed away in his house. He had a heart attack. So I remember my mom giving food to them for the week. Went to go shopping for them, bologna, this and that, ham, cheese, bread, mayo, whatever, eggs. So I remember that. Always stuck to my mind. So when I reconnect him through Facebook, his brother passed away. And this was maybe about right after I opened up the Bonita location. I said, hey, come pick up a fiesta meal, feed 25, 30 people. And I remember I said, hey, remember when my mom gave you guys money? That's when I started. I came up with the warm meal giveaway. So basically I say, you know what? If you know anybody that passed away, lost their job, battling cancer, any disease, depression, whatever, hit me up on Facebook. Tell me their story. I'll say, let's do it. You pick up the food,
Right.
you deliver it,
Right.
but I'll hook up the food. So it went big time right there too. It's died down. I think a lot of people, unfortunately, are lazy.
Right.
That they want food giveaway. They want me to give it away, but they don't want to come pick it up.
And that is,
It's
that is
weird.
good.
We see that a lot.
Slippery slope.
Yeah, 'cause
Derek
we-
had the same thing happen with the turkey meals. Like you want to be good and give back, and there are people that just don't have the means at a certain time. And Thanksgiving is a meal that we all cherish, and
Absolutely.
it doesn't matter what your background is. Here in America, like everything is turkeys. So Derek's giving away turkeys, but then it almost gets to the point where some people take advantage of that and become entitled. Well, why am I not getting a ham with my turkey?
Remember when they did that for Christmas? After I did it with Thanksgiving, a lady hit me up and she's like, "Hey, I got one of your turkeys for Thanksgiving. Can I get this for Christmas?" And I'm like, man, like
People.
I
That's just. I mean, honestly,
I want to do it, but then you're watching, you look at their profile and it's like she's having another kid and she's doing all these things. It's like, why are you doing this? You have no money to feed these kids. It doesn't make sense to me. And it's so like you, what I do in my mindset has to change and it's changed, but it's like, here's what I'm going to do. If they want to take advantage of it, fine. That's on them. That's their conscience. But I'm trying to do something positive. So here's the turkeys. Here's that. And if you want to come and say, "Oh yeah, fucking took advantage of Derek and I got a turkey," that's on you, man. That's on you. I'm just going to try to do the best I can and hope that I'm helping people. I mean, you know how many people came in here and they were crying, literally, like, dude, we didn't know where we were going to get our turkey. We had no idea. Like I couldn't do it. My husband's deployed, even when the government shut down, I don't even know if I told you about this. But I had multiple families that came in and I gave them baskets full of groceries. Sure. Because, that wasn't their fault that the government got shut down. No, there was, I reached out to my cousin who's a border patrol and, my sister had a friend that, Tara's friend at one of their schools that, was just like they're both mom and dad worked for the government and didn't know how they're going to make it, didn't know what they're going to do. And Tara's like, "Well, I'll give you money." And I'm like, "Well, just have them come and fill up their grocery basket."
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, and when I was walking around with them, I'm like, pile that shit in.
Yeah.
Like take some stuff. And they're like, "Well, I'll just get like ground beef." I'm like, "Get a fucking steak." I'm here to help you. And it's not about the publicity. It's not about that stuff. It's just same thing. I truly just want to be able to help. And, those people, I mean, like I said, tears in their eyes are so appreciative. And it's just kind of what I do and why I do it. Good. And it's, are there people that will take advantage of it? Yep.
Yeah,
it's on them.
When I put that post, one of the things I said, do not nominate yourself. Please do not nominate yourself.
No self-nomination?
That's a big zero in my book. I said, do not nominate yourself, please. And I'm not lying. There was people nominating themselves. I said, don't. Right. I mean, come on. You understand English? I go, no, please don't. What else do you want me to say? But yeah, people nominate themselves, and unfortunately, there's going to be people always trying to take advantage of the situation. To me, it's funny. I think there's more good people than bad people in this world. So that's where I say whatever. Right. But of course, somebody wants to break the rules, and you're breaking the rules, and that's when you put a stop.
So when you create a successful internet promotion around a cause, this being the Spanos Suck tacos, and it gets all this publicity, you also learn as a business owner that there's things that you can do to protect your business when you know that influx is coming. Because from when you first started the Spanos Suck tacos to after the Patriots won, and I brought barbecue as part of our East County Eats bet, you had made a change to the free. If you're going to get a taco or a burrito, right, you have to pay for a drink.
Yes.
Why did you do that?
Well, first of all, because it was actually a burrito. So a burrito is way more than a taco.
For sure.
It's three times the amount.
Right.
So I said, I'll give you a burrito, but you got to pay for a soda.
Right.
And I mean, a lot of people do come in and take advantage of the situation.
But you also told me that you weren't going to sacrifice your burrito either, because you knew that you would be giving away X amount of burritos, 500 burritos, but you weren't going to tell your staff to make a smaller burrito. Why is that?
Yeah, absolutely. I said, we're going to give a burrito. We're going to give the burrito that we sell. Because if you're trying to bring in people and at the same time, those people have never been here and they don't know about your food, and then you give them a smaller burrito to what you're normally giving, then you're basically stepping on your own foot. Yep. You know, you're not showing them what you're all about.
Right.
You know, so I said at the beginning, my staff, because I got there maybe about 45 minutes late, and my staff was giving them smaller burritos because that's the way they're trained. I mean, they're not that they're trained, but they know, okay, well, he's giving free. We're not gonna you
load
know,
it up.
This could be my raise right here. That's probably what they're thinking of. So I went there. So no, we're giving a burrito. We're giving them a burrito like we usually make it. I go, the cost of food is not. It's not going to be a big difference anyway. So just give them to them. That's what's going to bring them back.
Right.
You know, because we're going to show them how big our burritos are, not those skimpy, you know, hot dogs.
Sure.
So that was, I was saying, you know what, we're going to give burritos, we're going to give her, but you also buy a soda.
Right.
Not being a cheap ass.
Right.
So when can we expect projection? Obviously, there is no open date on any business, but when can people hopefully come and visit the new location?
Projection is August, but unfortunately, we're submitting plans after a month and a half of before. I barely signed my lease. Not too long ago.
Yeah.
It was in the last week I signed the lease. But meanwhile, while I was negotiating, I had my architect go in there and draw up the plans. We've gotten in there at least 10 times to look at the place.
Right.
So I kind of like, because, you know, we get free rent, so we got to be able to, you know, hurry the hell up and try to open it.
Right.
So when in there, we're going to submit plans. As you know, well, I don't know if you know, but City of Chula Vista is the worst city in San Diego to deal with when it comes to opening up restaurants or for that case, any business. And it really is.
That's crazy.
I've heard it from every architect.
That's
Chula
nuts.
Vista is the worst city to work with when it comes to opening businesses.
Because we had the guys from My Yard Live who are opening in San Marcos, and San Marcos is actually partnering with them on the project because it's their property, and they said that it's just like everything's been a breeze.
Yeah.
In San Marcos.
In San Marcos.
Yeah.
They said it's completely opposite of what you're
Chula
going
Vista,
through.
when I opened up the Bonita, it was a nightmare. And at the end, they forked me a bill of $10,000 because it was a sewer bill. Jesus. Sewer bill, really?
Yeah.
So they're hard to work with. So I was able to. That's why I posted on my Facebook page. If anybody knows the ins and outs of Chula Vista, help me out. So I got a couple people come in and say, I'm gonna help you out. So the economic development department is gonna help me out to pressure the people, you know, as much as possible.
Right.
And after that, it's construction, and then by that time, hopefully, I get my beer and wine license approved. I'm not gonna open up a restaurant if I'm trying to bring in local beers and make it part of the restaurant.
You're creating a new brand. This is it's the same brand, but this is a different experience. This is a family sports, sit down, enjoy the game.
Correct.
Cheer against the Chargers.
Correct.
experience, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. It'll when the Charger fans are going to Cali Comfort and storming up.
Exactly. I'll just
Cali
send them to you.
I'm gonna say, okay, whoever doesn't like the Charger can come to me. You know, so it'll be fun. I've never had a restaurant like that. You know, where it's actually going to have a bunch of TVs. Even though the Lemon Grove is just as big as the one, the atmosphere doesn't call for that.
Right.
Know? It doesn't call for that. So I don't know what to expect.
Right.
I don't know if the beer is going to bring me, my sales are going to go through the roof.
But imagine you're going to be
my profits, you know, my net profits are going to be bigger because of the beer. I don't know that. You'll be able to tell me that if that's going to be the case.
That's the best thing for Derek and I is, you know, this podcast just, it opens up different networks of people so that people can reach out. You know, that's what Facebook does. That's what LinkedIn does. But if you're listening and you have questions, email us.
Yeah.
You know, email us, ask us, and you know, you just never know who can help, no matter where you are. You know, because a lot of the principles apply not just here in San Diego, but also outside of San Diego.
So one of the last things, my main goal, honestly, for my business, for my brand, is to franchise. And I've been, for the past year, I hired a lawyer, or basically we're about 90% done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I have all my manual, I'm almost done with the new audits for the new corporation for the franchise. We're almost there. I mean, it's been a long road. as basically I hired somebody to come in and put a book this big about my business from
standardized
from A to Z. That's been big time. Luckily, I have a really good employee that I trained, that I molded her.
What's her name?
Esme. She's learned the business from my standpoint, and so she's working on the last parts of the actual manual. Cool. Like I'm talking about just from the most simplest thing: how to close down, how to order, when you need to order. I mean, it has to be on that book. It has to be in the book. And and they told me, because one of my buddies has a franchise called Buffalo Spot, and he told me about this lawyer, and he told me, he goes, hey, it's gonna be a long road, Vic. Do not get discouraged, because it's not easy to put your business on a piece of paper. Or
I'm sure it's not cheap either.
No, it costed me a good $15,000 for that, plus lawyer fees. It's been around $30,000, so it's costing me a good chunk of change. But I'm there. I don't have a lot of restaurants where I could say, okay, so I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But what my lawyer has told me, he goes, look, you're one of the few restaurants I can actually say you don't need a bunch of them, because you have a good brand, and your brand recognition is there more than some that have 10, 15, 20. You know what I'm saying? Not that it's recognized, it's that you have a good story.
Yeah.
A really good story. And you have good food. Right. And your community is just supported like one after the other.
There's just not Mexican restaurants that serve amazing food that have embraced digital marketing the way that you have. And,
right.
You know, that's part of the franchise model, is that you're going to teach you know, the next owner operator that, hey, these are the things that you can do in a hyper local situation to get awareness.
Even though my lawyer says do not tell them to open up their own Facebook page because you don't know what's going to happen there. Right. But I'm going to teach them, okay, yes, but you're not going to be like me where you're going to cussing up a store. You can't do that. You cannot do that. Only I can do that. Right. So it's kind of a touchy subject when it comes to stuff like that. But that's my goal. I don't want to open up 10, 15 like these Lolitas and Robertos and Bertos on my own and just calling them myself where I'm working them and this and that and general manager. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. It's too hard. It's not easy to succeed doing that. You're going to basically die doing it. And I don't want to do that. My goal is to franchise it. If I have 10, 15, 20, 5, you make money off of them. And at the end of the day, if somebody comes in and says, like, I want to buy your product, that's the type of person I am. I'm gone. Yeah. I did what I needed to do, take it to the next level. My thing is, don't sacrifice the flavor, please. Yeah. Even if I'm not the main guy. That's my whole goal in 10, 15 years.
That's great.
I do not want to be the sole operator of El Pollo Grill. Right. I want to live with my wife and my family. That's my whole goal. Yeah. You know, my mom and dad, my dad worked 24/7 every day of the week for 20 years, man. He would hardly have a day off. He'd come home, sleep, come back to work every day. I don't want to do that. He was never with my mother. He was never with us. Yeah. He was working.
Right.
I don't want to do that.
Sure.
That's not my goal. My goal is to have a fun, happy life with my family. If I die, I die happy, not just because I wanted more money or
put those puzzle pieces in place.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that that's the way to go, because everybody is different. Some of them want to have their 20, 30, 5, 10, 15 restaurants on their own, and they want to call it themselves. I'm just not that type of guy. You know, I love to work, but I also love to, you know, be with my family. And a lot of people tell me, man, how the hell you... I am like that, seriously. I'm at home a lot. Yeah, I work, but I'm constantly on the phone, cameras. I'm in and out. They never know when I'm coming, you know. But to be there, I'm going to be there 10-hour days. I'm hardly ever there. I'm kind of how people say, man, you're smart about certain things. I go, you know what? My life is more precious than that restaurant, man. You know, my life is my family, my kids. You know, tonight I have to go take my daughter to her tryouts or her soccer tryouts. That to me is more important than the restaurant. Yeah. You know, my son, he's just graduating from high school. He's going to go to San Diego State. We got admitted to a bunch of colleges. That's more important to me. You know, I've been with my wife for 20 years. That's more important to me. Right. You know, every Sunday, all my brothers and sisters get together at my mom's house. I'm pretty much almost every Sunday.
That's what we do, yeah.
That's more important to me. Right. Of course, you got to also be realistic and say you got to take care of your business. I'm not saying I don't. We do. I do. But to be there stuck 24/7, nah. To me, it's not worth it. You know, so and I told my lawyer, I said, look, Bob, you need to find somebody to help me with this franchise. I go, I don't want to do this on my own. He goes, just open up the first 10. I go, Bob, you know how long that's going to take me to open up 10 or 5? I go, no, I'm not that patient. I don't want to. It's not my goal, you know? And he goes, well, you're going to regret it if you don't. I go, I don't care giving up part of my shares on my business. I don't care about that. If they have the money, they can turn it around and be more successful than I am in 2 years than I will be in 15 years, you know? So that's where I'm at. That's my whole goal, franchise. So anybody wants to learn about franchising, or not learn about franchise, but interested in a franchise El Pollo Grill, I can't technically say that because I'm not a franchise yet. I can get sued for it. But I will be offering franchise as soon as it's and I have a lot of people that are already interested. It's crazy, you know. But the hardest thing about franchising is to try to simplify things. Yeah. You have to. So looking at my menu, I'm like, okay, out. I'm like, damn, out. You have to, or else you're not be able to teach somebody how to fully operate like I know how to operate. Right. I can do it with my eyes closed. It'll take them years. So I have to just like In-N-Out.
Absolutely.
I don't know if they're a franchise, but In-N-Out, Chick-fil-A, they all have simplified menus, you know. So I'm keeping the core. I'm keeping the core foods. But I have other stuff like but you can't. You got to simplify things.
Well, you cross-utilize a lot of product too, which is big. You can't. You don't want to have only one piece of meat that only goes sort of this one dish because you're gonna be throwing away a lot of times. So
correct.
You want to cross-utilize with all your rice, beans, tortillas, meats, and make 30 different things that are just those. And it works. Yeah, cool.
So we do have a social shout out for this week. They've been hashtagging us behind the smoke. This is going to Rack to the Future BBQ, grilled and smoked meats out of Lodi, California. Signed up for the May 4th Elk Grove Western Festival. It's a KCBS backyard comp, which is pretty cool. Elk Grove, California. So good luck to Rack to the Future BBQ. Love the name. Thanks for listening to the podcast and for supporting the show. We're episode 98. Thank you very much, Victor.
Thank you guys for having me.
Appreciate your
friendship.
Fun. Appreciate you leading.
I'm going to start listening to more podcasts.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know which ones, but yours. You guys
Yeah, we appreciate that and everything that you do for the community. We're fired up. We'll put links in the show notes so people can reach out to you about franchising or any questions they may have.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. It was fun.